Hello, everybody. My name is Andy Couturier, and I'm with theopening.org, and I'm here today to offer you another one of our 5-minute writing tips. So, one of the pain points that a lot of my students have had over the years is this question that plagues them, like, how do I keep going? How do I maintain my motivation? How do I stick with it? Um, and it seems a very intractable problem, but in our few minutes together, I hope I can give you some pointers that will help you out. So, first of all, I want to explain what many people go through. They feel unmotivated, they're tired, they've got too much going on, or they were working hard on the project and then life, as they say, life intervened, meaning they had a big responsibility, work, or a sick child. Many things happen. Every person who's written a book has had that. It's about getting back to it, and that's the question: is how can you pick it up again? Another question, a thing that stops people from writing is, it's too complicated. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's going to happen next. Don't have a very clear vision of what's going to happen, and I cannot stand that level of ambiguity. Early hint: I'm going to help you try to tolerate some ambiguity, because that's going to help you make a better book in the end. Okay, so the first tip I have for you is just try to make it incredibly easy for yourself to work on your project. So it's like falling off a log. So, for example, if you are working on your laptop, always have the document open and have it in front. Don't have your browser open, don't have your email open, don't have YouTube open, music, anything. Just as soon as you open the computer, and for myself, I rarely even turn off, power down the computer. I just put it to sleep so that when I open it up, there's my document. Now, if I'm not feeling like writing, or if you're not feeling like writing, one of the things you can do is tell yourself, I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to figure out everything about it. I'm not even going to work on writing anything new. I'm just going to look it over and read it. Try not to read it with a critical mind, though, looking for its problems. It's a very complicated problem that we've gotten ourselves into, where everything has to be evaluated, whether it's good or bad, and that just strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is that part of your brain right up in the front, which makes all those decisions about. It's about the size of a fist, but it's much smaller than the rest of your brain. It makes all those decisions about, should I go here, should I go there, take a right, take a left, what time is it? All of those evaluations, as good as it's bad, you need to let go of that when you read it. Just read it for what's interesting to you. Okay. So that's number 2. Avoid that critiquing mind. 3 is see if you can develop a tolerance for the ambiguous. So what's emerging? What's not clear? Just keep moving forward and see what's kind of pulling at you. See what feels energetic to you. See what's trying to come through you, as opposed to having to know where it's going. And I know that I think it's actually worse now that we can Google everything, and everything can be fact checked, and everything. I think our ancestors 200 to 2,000 years ago, they didn't really need to know everything. Maybe it made them somewhat uncomfortable to not know whether it was going to, rain tomorrow, but they didn't have everything laid out in front of them. And they could go about their lives in a much freer way, in some sense. So I'm going to recommend to you to see how you can build your tolerance for not knowing what's going to happen in your book. And I believe that that's going to create a much better book, because if you sort of had a clear idea at the beginning that the book is going to get A, B, and C, and maybe D, that's all your book would be, is that you'd be filling in those slots of A, B, C, and D, and that would be only what you could conceive of when you first started working on your book. Okay. The next one is to try to be honest with yourself about how did you get projects done in the past. Try to look at your own self. Don't read some, efficiency book that's based on someone else's patterns. You have to look at your own patterns, look at your own life, and figure out how have you accomplished things, and then replicate that in the future. Okay, in our next talk, we'll talk a little bit about focusing on the gift, but we're out of our 5 minutes, so I wanted to say goodbye and tune in for our next 5-minute writing.